In this video, I will discuss the definition of spirituality as I define it by breaking it down into 5 high-level categories which describe how I have either experienced it or seen it being practiced by others. These categories are certainly not an exhaustive list, and I will not be covering the anatomy of any category. We will keep it simple for now. In simple words, spirituality for any individual is the pursuit of a deeper understanding of life. That's the general goal. So if anyone is looking for meaning in life situations or asking the why and how type questions, like why do certain events take place earlier in a person's life? Or why am I not able to fulfill my desire or goal in spite of doing all I could? Or how do I deal with loss? Then they can adopt multiple ways of looking for answers to such questions. People are more likely to walk down a path and persist through it if it is easy or at least feels natural. Let me now break down the different paths that people could adopt by splitting it into 5 different categories. And you can find yourself in more than one category also. The first category is devotion. Conventionally, this would mean devotion towards God, however you define God, or towards a higher force, or a source you trust or surrender to. In essence, though, devotion is a profound feeling where there is commitment, love, reverence, and also exuberance. So your source of devotion can be different depending on what your being truly wants. You can feel devotion towards God, or your partner, or your family, or a cause towards which you feel an unwavering sense of purpose, or bringing up a child, or devotion towards dogs, or another or all animals. What you feel devotion for cannot be defined by another. There is a quote by a famous Chinese philosopher that summarizes my sentiment towards this category quite aptly. Let everything be allowed to do what it naturally does, so that its nature will be satisfied. The second category is inner work. This encapsulates disciplines or daily practices that lead to harmonious living. These practices can span different types of meditations, chanting of affirmations or mantras that create resonance in your body, visualizations, contemplative writing, reading, body work or holding of postures that generates energy, and several other techniques. The idea of doing some or all of these practices is to align your life situations to manifest the life you desire, and these desires become clearer as a result of doing these practices because they declutter your mind and improve focus and hence provide clarity. You still need to act on the insights you gather by doing any of these practices. And the insight about what one needs to do is specific to the individual. A commonality between all these practices I mentioned earlier, if done effectively, is that you need to be present and involved in them. Now, the quality of being present in life situations by facing how you feel and acting on the insight available to you at that point in time, without doing any structured inner work techniques, is available to many because they are in the habit of being present and involved. So they have a different approach, but they can get to have the same or better alignment to life situations depending on how involved they are. Inner work is not about what you do, but about how and when you implement the insight that you get. So the way in which you implement the insight and the timing of the action needs to be in alignment. The third category is teachings. This can be in the form of a sermon or a spiritual discourse. It can be a dialogue or a discussion of reflections between a teacher and a student, or preachings. The main goal of it all being to foster thoughts of well-being and to bring together individuals to support them with contemplation, self-awareness, and share wisdom in general. This goal can be achieved by being involved in learning that nourishes you and that which you truly look forward to. It can mean being part of religious or spiritual organizations, and it can also mean being part of communities like write clubs, book clubs, or activities that bring together people who are passionate about the same things. What somebody wants to learn is so personal. You can be born in the same family and have very different interests. You cannot pursue and persist in any kind of learning if you don't have a strong inner desire for it. The fourth category is belief system. This can mean that individuals follow an organized religion or institutions with a predefined rule set. It can also mean that people form groups or tribes because of their similar viewpoints, and being together gives them comfort. You can actively identify such groups and be part of it, or even just live your life. Pick up values that resonate with you, and at any given point, you have certain principles. And it's easier and mostly needed for people to follow them because that's what satisfies them. What I'm trying to communicate through this category is that we can take whichever route we want, but we all have our own values, which is what we want to live by to cultivate integrity and so that we can face ourselves too. The fifth category is transcendence. Many people desire to explore experiences and understand life in a way that goes beyond our physical realities. This can be about interconnectedness of living and non-living things, union with each other, nature, and the universe at large. If I try to extract the essence of it, it's trying to touch or be part of something which is intangible, but the experience of which will be a blissful experience. We can all try and manufacture this experience, but the most convincing stories that I have read, where you are pulled towards those experiences because of the sheer intensity of it, even while you're reading about those experiences, are of people across professions. These include yogis and saints, sports people, actors, and even engineers. I was reading about a man who designed a medical software, and when he was writing the code, he was thinking in the coding language he used for the software. So it was flowing through him, and he couldn't tell the difference between the coding language and himself. This is not easy to comprehend, and I will not try to explain it because I can't. But this is about reaching an inner state of flow, which is not short-lived. At some level, we are all included in some or all of these categories. We feel devotion towards something. We have some mechanism to live a harmonious life. We gravitate towards some form of learning. We have our own value system, and we do desire to be part of something that allows us to be or to access the flow state or to be at ease. What I'm trying to say is that we are all spiritual beings. We just define it differently. That's all I have to share in this video. Please do comment if you have a different perspective, and I would be interested to know your views. Creating these videos help me with inner reflection. I hope that the content on my channel can help you to reflect on your emotions. Thank you for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next video.